Hello everybody. Welcome at Learning is Fun with Prajnaparamita. Today I am going to talk about narration change, direct and indirect speech. Where do we use direct and indirect speech? What is that? And the rules are the main thing I am going to discuss in this video. Let's see the examples. Here you find two persons are talking together. That is, one of them says like this, I am hungry, and the other says, so am I. And here you can write this sentence in this way. John said, I am hungry, within inverted commas, and so am I, said Peter, also within inverted commas. In the next examples, you find that there is a lady, old lady. She is talking about that I am baking cookies for Jeans. And the lady also reports the same thing to her child, that grandma said she was baking cookies for you. Let's have a look in the picture also. The teacher is strict. The words are written in speech bubbles and there is the inverted commas or the quotation marks. But here you find the words are written in another way. That is, she said the teacher was strict, but in this sentence we do not have any inverted commas. So, there are two main ways of reporting people's words, thoughts, etc. What are they? Sometimes we use inverted commas, speech bubbles to say or to talk about the experience of one person or the words of one person. But in some cases, we actually try to report them in another situation. That is, what are they talked earlier, we just talked in our own word. We just report that speech in our own word. Here you find the examples here. Again, in another examples in the slide, you find the teacher is giving everyone an A grade. Here the man talked about something and his speech has been reported, has been presented within inverted commas, and this is called the direct mode of narration. But the same thing, here you find the same speech is said in another way. That is, he said the teacher was giving everyone an A or an A grade or something. That is, the same speech or same words are talked or reported or write in another way where you do not have any inverted commas. Instead of that, there are some changes. The highlighting the words are like is becomes was, is become was, is giving become was giving, etc. So you find this sort of changes are there. So what is called the direct speech and what is the indirect speech? Let's see the example first. Robbie said, I am going to the market, and the whole thing, what Robbie said, the words are written within inverted commas. Similarly, Ravi said within bracket that he was going to the market. The same thing is reported in two different ways. The same thing you write in two different ways. That is, this is called the two modes of narration. One is direct mode of narration where you use inverted commas, and other one is indirect mode of narration where you do not use any inverted commas. So, direct speech quotes actual words. So, it is called quoted speech. So when it is a direct speech, it is written in inverted commas and it is called the quoted speech. But the indirect speech reports what was said without quoting exact words. That is, you represent something in your own word what was said by that person. So it is without quoting the exact word. So quotation mark or the inverted commas is not needed, and it is called reported speech because you are reporting the same thing, same words of another person in your own word. Actually, you are reporting something. So it is called the reported speech. So what is the difference you find here? Let's see the difference again. In case of direct speech, inverted commas or speech bubbles are used, but in case of indirect speech or reported speech, you do not have use any inverted commas, but instead of that, you have to use conjunction that. Reported verb in direct speech has been changed into the verb according to its tense. That is, reported verb in this sentence is am, I am going. It becomes he was going. Similarly, when there is a change in speaker, there must be a change in pronoun as well. So, the direct speech pronoun I become he when you are reporting the same in the indirect speech or reported speech. Now, here, there are some examples for you. Identify the direct and the indirect speech. He is busy. He said, I am busy. She said, I am tired. The girl said that she was reading. Rita said that she lived there. Now, identify the direct speech and indirect speech. Yes, he said, I am busy is a direct speech. Why? Because it is written in the inverted commas. And she said, I am tired. It is also, the words are written in the inverted commas. But look here, the girl said that she was reading. Here you do not find any inverted comma. So it means that the words of the girl was actually reported by someone other. Similarly, Rita said she lived there. The similar thing happens there. The word of Rita is reported by someone else. So that is there. There is no inverted commas and that is written within in bracket. Now, what are the rules, basic rules for the change of narration, that is from direct speech to indirect speech? What you have to maintain or what you have to know about the rules? This is the thing here. Here, when you are going to change the direct speech to indirect speech, you have to change in situation. There is a change in time expressions. There is a change in pronoun and there is a change in tense also. Let's see here the change in situation. What do you mean that? That is, words that are spoken in one point of time by someone in one place can be reported in another point of time by another person in another place. Let's see the example you can understand well. Here you find there are two ladies are talking about something yesterday and one of them is reporting that speech today. That is, yesterday I saw my friend Pamela. She told me that she got a promotion. Here, the words are spoken in one place and time. You find the place is different. The place is not the office desk. It is somewhere else, in anywhere, any place, outside the office, cafe or anywhere. So the place is different. Similarly, the words are reported in another place at different time. You find here the office days or someone, and what is mean by that? If the words are spoken yesterday, the time is different, and here the words are spoken today. So when you are talking about the change in time and place, there are some words which is changing or which you have to change from direct speech to indirect speech. Let's see that words. In direct speech, if it is today, it becomes that day in indirect speech. If the now is there, now becomes then or at the moment. Similarly, yesterday becomes the day before. Last week becomes the week before. Next year becomes the following year. And tomorrow becomes the next day. Similarly, if here is used in direct speech, it becomes there. And this becomes that, and ago before becomes before. Let's see some examples. Here, Ravi said, I will be back next week. Here you find next week is written in yellow color. Here, when you report that word, that sentence, you have to write in this way. Ravi said he would be back the following year. You find there is a change between next year to the following year. Similarly, Ravi said, I go to the market yesterday. And when you report that thing in your own word, you have to say, Ravi said that, or Ravi said he went to the market the day before. Here you find yesterday becomes the day before. Now, when you change the speaker, that is a change of speaker means the change in pronoun also. That is, in direct speech, if you have I, it becomes he or she in indirect speech. We become they, you become he, she or they. Similarly, my become his or hers. Our become their, your become his, her or their. Me become him or her. Us become them. You become him, her and them. Similarly, the possessive pronouns like mine become his or hers. Ours become theirs. And yours becomes his, hers or theirs. So, let's see some examples again. Mike and Tom said, we play football. And when you report the same word, you have to write like this. Mike and Tom said they played football. And here also Ravi said, I am going to the market. When you in reported speech, it becomes Ravi said that he was going to the market. So what do you see here? You find we becomes they and I becomes he. So when there is a change in speaker, that means there must be a change in pronoun as well. Now, this is also important that change of time may means change of tense as well. Because I have told you change in time, place and situation, that means obviously you have to change the tense of that particular sentence. That is, in direct speech, if it is simple present tense. The reported verb is written in simple present tense. In indirect speech, it must be changed into simple past tense. Here you find Paula said, I want to be a teacher. Paula said that she wanted to be a teacher. You find the reported verb want becomes wanted in reported speech. Here, if the reported verb in direct speech is present continuous, then it becomes obviously past continuous when you are reported that speech. You find that I am going to the cinema. She said that she was going to the cinema. You find here am going become she was going. Similarly, if it is past tense, the direct speech is written in past tense. That means the reported verb is written in past tense in direct speech. It becomes past perfect when it is the reported speech. For example, he said that John had phoned me. Had phoned. Here in the direct speech you find he said John phoned me. Look at the verb. Here the verb is phoned. That is the reported verb is in past tense in direct speech and it become past perfect had phoned in case of reported speech. Here you find mode changes in tense in case of verbs are referred to here. What is that? Will you go there? John asked if he would go there. What is the change? Will become would. But there are some exceptions too. In case of modals, they do not change when it is reported speech. For example, you see here, she said, it must be pretty late. I really must go. In reported speech, it is that she said, it must be pretty late and she must go. Here, must is not changed. Both in direct speech and indirect speech, it becomes the same. Similarly, the modals like would, could, should, could, might, ought, must, and need. In case of these modals, you need not to change in reported speech or indirect speech. Let's see the example. I was afraid it might be too late. Here in the reported speech, you find I was afraid that it might be too late. Now, there is a very interesting point you have to know. There is the use of that. In the whole slide, you find I have mentioned or I have write that within bracket. So why it is within bracket it is written. The conjunction that may be dropped in case of some verbs. That is, in case of say and think, you may drop the conjunction that. That is, it need not to use that. Sometime you may not use that in case of say or think. Let's see the example. Here you find he said she phoned me. You write it in this way. He said she had phoned me. But there is an exception too. That cannot be dropped in some verb, in some case of reporting verb, that is reply or shout. In case of if the reporting verb is reply or shout, you do not drop that. For example, you see the example, she shouted, I am busy. She shouted that she was busy. Here you find the reporting verb is shouted. So, you must use that. Remember that thing. So, how about this narration change and direct and indirect speech? I hope you like this. If you have any problem, please do comment in the comment box. I definitely reply them. So, no more today. Thank you for listening and bye-bye.